Hey guys, how's it going? In the previous video on the 51, I was working on the dash, the interior stuff, and I'm going to keep on going with that. I've run into a snag with my steering wheel, and it's the kind of thing that happens when you buy shit online, and things don't go with other things, and that's exactly what happened here. I'll show you that in a minute. So now I'm going to have to fabricate something to mount that wheel and make everything work. So right now I already know that the horn button is not going to work. So I'm going to have to put a button for a horn on the dash, I guess. And so be it, whatever. As long as there's a horn, right? Yeah, so I've got a couple of ideas. I'm going to try a few things and we'll see how it goes. So might as well just get right to it. All right, so here's my issue. This was the adapter that came with the steering column, and you can see right away, I mean, that doesn't work. So, you know, the mounting holes, first of all, there's 8 of them, and there's only 6 on the wheel, and this diameter of the hub is, you know, huge compared to the diameter on the center of the wheel. So, what I did was bought another adapter, this one. Now you can see my problem. The way this thing is designed, it's not recessed like this one, so this nut sticks out way past the surface. So when you put your wheel on, you know, it looks stupid because the wheel has this cover on it. It's supposed to sit flush on there. Well, it's not going to because it hits the nut and sticks way out. So I need a spacer in between here and the wheel. So I figured it out. It's roughly 5/8 to maybe 11/16. So my solution is, at least I think it's going to work, is got some aluminum here, different thicknesses. This one here is about 3/8, this big plate. This one here, this here is 5/16, and this one here is almost 3/16. So I'm going to need 2 pieces. Now I'm not sure which 2 is going to work best. It's hard to get an accurate measurement just by holding the wheel there. But I'm going to start with the thick one and cut that out. And I'm probably going to try this one here, the 5/16. And I think the 2 of those should be pretty close. But I'm just going to cut it with a jigsaw. And yeah, once I get it the right thickness, then I can polish up the edges and clean it all up, make it look pretty like the rest of the column, and call it done. So hopefully this works. I'm going to need longer screws to mount the wheel because I've got the extra space to cover, and the screws are only like 3/4 of an inch, so they're not quite going to reach. They might reach partially, but I don't think so. I think I'm going to need them maybe 1.25 inches long or something. Anyway, I'm going to get on cutting these circles out and do all the machine work I got to do to make them look nice. All right, so I started cutting these 2 circles, and I broke 5 or 6 cheap jigsaw blades. So I got out the hole saw, but I'm missing the proper center section. It's got the two pins that catch into these holes here, and I don't know where the hell I put it. So I had just this one, but it was just spinning around, so didn't work. The hole saw was probably the way to go if I had the right piece. I'll find it when I don't need it. You know how that goes. So I went and got some good Milwaukee metal cutting jigsaw blades. Cut through this stuff like butter. So it took me 5 minutes to cut both. So I got a hole drilled in the center, and I'm going to bolt the 2 of them together and shape them so they're identical, using this as my guide. So, you know, so these 2 pieces are slightly bigger than this piece. It gives me some room to just make them nice and round and pretty looking. I'm going to bevel the edges, shine them up, and then I got to make this hole bigger. Then I got to drill, you know, the 6 holes for the screws to go through. So there's a fair amount of drilling and shaping and grinding and messing around to do yet. I'm probably going to shape it just on a belt sander right here on the table. So anyway, I'm going to bolt these together and get at it. think I'm going to go in the grinder first and get it closer to shape, and then come back and finish it off in the sander. Alright, so I've got these cut pretty much the same size, identical to each other anyway, and they're slightly smaller than the center section, which is fine. I'm going to bevel these edges, angle them off, so that it looks like they're supposed to be that way. It'll look like a rib, and then you'll trick the eye into thinking they're identical. I mean, I'm just doing this freehand, so. Okay, so they'll look like that. Now, I'm going to fine tune it with a file after I get it, all the holes drilled, and see how everything fits. And then we'll polish these things right up, and we'll have ourselves a spacer. Alright, so there was a lot of dicking around to do. First I had to drill a good sized hole so that it would fit over the nut in the center. And then the other plate, I had to put an even bigger hole to fit the back of the button. So we're going to see how this all fits together here. So it would be I know it fits because I've already tried it. There we go. Oh, good catch. Almost wrecked my wheel. Anyway, I'm going to get that together. I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so no more drama. I just put a piece of tape here to kind of hold the weight of the wheel. The wheel wanted to fall over. So this is the look. I have to try and get a good camera angle here. So, you know, I got to tweak it and line everything up here. But once I polish those two top pieces and line them up with the rest, it'll look pretty much as one. And yeah, we'll have it finished off. So I guess I'll drill a bunch of holes, 6 holes. I'm gonna have to get longer screws to make it work, but this is gonna work. And this is recessed in here a little bit. I can bring that out a bit and make it flush the way it's supposed to look. Just a little bit of tweaking. So yeah, I'll go ahead and polish up those rings. Like I said, I'm going to fine tune it with a fine file and run the buffer on it, polish it up nice like the rest of it, and you know, that whole deal there will all look like one piece. So yeah, I'll live with that. I think it's okay. So there you go, problem solved. All right, just going to finish buffing this thing up. All right, so what I did here was I used a fine file and filed off any gouges or whatever from the jigsaw blades, clean that all up. Then I used the this little palm sander here. I started with 240 grit, and this piece here is an 800 grit. Cleaned it all up, and then I ran it on this little mini buffing machine, and here's the look I'm gonna end up with. So I think it looks damn good. Everything blends in nicely. The beveled edges look like what's on the column. So now all I've got to do is drill my holes, and I'm gonna have to go take a run to the hardware store and pick up some longer screws. For now, I'm going to get the proper stainless ones that are Allen head. But for now, just to mock it up and see the end result, I'll just get a couple of regular screws. So, yeah, I think it's fine. That's going to work out just perfect. Okay, so I go to Canadian Tire, get a pack of screws, and of course, they don't have the ones I need. Every time, man. Every time, that store. Anyway, that's the end product. Pretty much. I just gotta go get the proper screws. This is sort of just hanging here right now, just to give you the idea. So I gotta tweak this a little bit, make it flush, but I think once it tightens down, everything will be fine. So yeah, it's a pretty clean look, I think. Sort of all blends together, so I'm quite happy. Anyway, that was one thing that was bugging me. It was in the back of my head, you know, how am I gonna make that freaking wheel look right? And yeah, I think this will work just fine. So there you go. I want to take the wheel off anyway, so I can finish up the dash. It's kind of in my way. But yeah, once I get the screws, it's ready to assemble anyhow. So that's the main thing. Job done. So there you go. You know, this is the kind of shit that happens when you buy stuff online, aftermarket stuff, to try and make things, all these pieces play well together. You know, you'd think they'd tell you what the bolt pattern was on the column and what the adapter was, but they don't. You just give you this kit, and then it's for you, up to you to figure it out. Same with the wheel. You get the wheel, it's got the horn button and all that stuff. You know, you make the assumption that it's going to fit, and it doesn't. So you got to mess around with this garbage and make things fit. But anyway, no harm done. It was a cheap solution. You know, those adapters are like $100. So, you know, to get another one, I you know, no, I've spent enough already on that thing. So yeah, we got it. It's looking good, and problem solved. So that's my cheap way out. If you like the content, please subscribe. Truly would appreciate it. And tell your buddies and help spread the word. And don't be shy. Leave comments down below. I try and answer them all. And I appreciate the comments and the interest. And yeah, I'm going to just keep on carrying on. I'm going to cross some things off my list, I guess, in the next video. I got a few things done that were on there, and some things that weren't on the list, but whatever. It's all got to get done, right? And oh, by the way, the 55 at work is this close to paint. Should be in the next few days, so stick around for that. I think that car is going to be one sweet ride. And yeah, that's about it, I guess. If you're not doing anything else, get out of the garage and build something, man. Later, guys.